In a small village, tucked away from the big, noisy cities, lived a young boy named Leo. His world was not one of shiny toys or full plates. It was a world painted in shades of struggle. Leo's family was very poor. Their home was a tiny shack with a roof that leaked when it rained. They did not have much, but they had each other. Leo's parents worked from the moment the sun came up until long after it went down. They worked in the fields, their hands rough and tired. But even with all their hard work, there was often not enough food to go around. Leo learned what hunger felt like at a very young age. It was a constant companion, a quiet ache in his belly. Leo's childhood was a lesson in no. No new clothes for the festival, no extra piece of bread, no time to just be a kid. He watched other children run and play with colorful kites. His own kite was made of old newspaper and weak sticks. It often broke, just like his hopes sometimes did. He saw other families with cars while his family walked everywhere. The dust from the road was a familiar taste. He learned early on that life was not fair. It did not give everyone the same starting line. Some people started the race miles ahead, while he was still trying to find his shoes. It was a hard reality for a small boy to understand. But inside this small boy, a tiny seed of hope was planted. He didn't know where it came from. Maybe it was from his mother's songs, which she sang even when she was tired. Maybe it was from his father's stories of a better world beyond their village. This hope was a small, warm light in the darkness. It told him that things could be different. It whispered that his life was not set in stone. He held on to this feeling tightly, like a precious secret. He believed that one day, the rain would not leak through his roof, but would instead come to water his dreams. This hope was his most valuable possession. It was more important than the one worn-out shirt he owned. It was more filling than the occasional full meal he ate. His parents taught him something important without even saying the words. They taught him resilience. They never complained. They just woke up and faced another hard day with quiet strength. Leo saw this. He saw their spirit. He learned that you can be poor in pocket but rich in spirit. He decided that he would not let his circumstances define him. He was more than his empty stomach. He was more than his dusty feet. He was a boy with a dream. The biggest mountain Leo had to climb was education. The village school was a small one-room building. It was always crowded and there were never enough books. The teacher was kind but overworked. Leo loved to learn. He was thirsty for knowledge. He saw school as his only escape, his only path to a different life. But going to school was not easy. He often had to miss classes to help his family in the fields. His hands, small and young, learned the hard work of picking crops under the hot sun. He felt torn between his duty to his family and his desire for a future. Many of his friends dropped out of school. They said it was pointless. They said, "Leo, why are you reading? You will just end up in the fields like us." For a moment, Leo would feel doubt creep in. It was a cold, scary feeling. Was he wasting his time? Was he chasing a ghost? The challenges were everywhere. He had no lamp to study at night. He would sit by the weak light of a candle, his eyes straining to read the words in a borrowed book. The letters would dance in the flickering light. He would read until the candle burned out, until his eyes hurt, but his mind felt full and alive. One day, a terrible storm hit the village. It rained for days. The river flooded, and their small shack was badly damaged. They lost the little they had. It felt like the world was trying to wash away his dreams completely. He saw the despair in his parents' eyes. This was a moment when it would have been easy to give up, to surrender, to say, "Life wins, I lose." He sat in the mud, looking at the ruin of his home. He was cold, wet, and heartbroken. It felt like the end. The world was telling him, "You are poor, and you will always be poor." But then something inside him shifted. He looked at his father, who was already starting to pick up the pieces of their broken home. He saw his mother, who was making sure the younger children were safe and warm. They were not giving up. And so, Leo decided he would not give up either. This storm would not be the end of his story. It would be a chapter about overcoming. He stood up, wiped the mud from his face, and started helping. In that moment of complete loss, he found a new kind of strength. He realized that true strength isn't about never falling. It's about getting up every single time you fall. Leo knew that hope was not enough. Hope needed a plan. Hope needed action. He made a decision. He would work twice as hard as anyone else. He woke up before the sun. He would finish his work in the fields as quickly as he could. Then he would run to school, often arriving late but always arriving. He begged the teacher for extra lessons. He read every book he could find over and over again until he knew them by heart. He became a sponge, soaking up every drop of knowledge. His hands were calloused from farm work, but his mind was becoming sharp and strong. He started doing small jobs in the village to earn a little money. He would carry messages for shopkeepers. He would help fix broken fences. Every coin he earned was precious. He didn't spend it on sweets or toys. He saved it. He saved it to buy his own books. The day he bought his first very own book was one of the happiest days of his life. It was a simple math book, but to him, it was a treasure. It was proof that his hard work was paying off. It was a step, a small step, but a step in the right direction. He was building his future, one coin, one book at a time. A key moment came when a scholarship was announced for the best student in the region to attend a good school in the city. This was his chance. This was the door he had been looking for. The competition was fierce. There were students from richer families, students who had private tutors and all the books they needed. Leo had only his mind and his determination. He studied relentlessly. He pushed himself harder than ever before. He barely slept. He filled every spare moment with study. His parents watched him, a mix of pride and worry in their eyes. They could not help him with his studies, but they gave him their silent support. The day of the exam, Leo was nervous. He walked for miles to get to the examination center. He saw the other students with their fancy pens and confident faces. He took a deep breath and remembered how far he had come. He remembered the leaky roof, the hungry nights, the storm. He remembered his promise to himself. He poured all his knowledge, all his hope, all his fight onto that paper. He wrote not just with his hand, but with his heart. He left everything in that room. He didn't know if he would succeed, but he knew he had given it his all. And that was a victory in itself. Weeks later, the results were posted in the village square. Leo's heart pounded in his chest as he pushed through the crowd. He scanned the list, his eyes searching for his name. And then he saw it. At the very top, Leo had won the scholarship. A cheer went up from the people who knew his story. For the first time, Leo saw tears of joy in his father's eyes. His mother hugged him so tightly he could barely breathe. It was a moment of pure, unbelievable happiness. The seed of hope, planted in stone and watered with sweat and tears, had finally sprouted into a strong sapling. His journey was just beginning. Life in the city was a new world. It was big, loud, and intimidating. But Leo was not scared. He had faced bigger storms. He excelled in his new school. He continued to work hard, never forgetting where he came from. He graduated with top honors and went on to university, also on a scholarship. He studied business, dreaming of one day creating opportunities for people like him. After university, he started a small company that focused on sustainable farming, using technology to help poor farmers improve their crops. He wanted to give them the tools he never had. Today, Leo is a successful and respected businessman. His company has helped thousands of families in rural areas. He built a new, strong house for his parents. He established a foundation that provides books and scholarships to children in his old village. He never forgot the boy who studied by candlelight. He made sure that other children would have lamps to read by. His life changed completely. He went from a boy with nothing to a man who could give everything. He has a comfortable life, but he never lost his humility or his connection to his roots. Leo's story is a powerful reminder for all of us. It teaches us that our starting point in life does not have to be our ending point. It shows that hardship can build character and obstacles can be turned into stepping stones. His journey proves that with unwavering hope, relentless hard work, and a spirit that refuses to be broken, anything is possible. Leo's life is a testament to the idea that you don't need to be born with a silver spoon to eat well. Sometimes all you need is the courage to keep fighting for your dream, even when the world tells you it's impossible.